Alright, hey everyone, welcome back. So, we got a new video that I'll be putting out, and this one is going to be a little bit selfish of me because this one's from one of my own games. This was kind of a big deal to me though when I played this game because this was from my first tournament I played in the long format. Not just a rapid game, which I played a couple of tournaments like that, like game in 30 minutes, things like that. But this tournament was game in 90 minutes, so each player has 90 minutes on their clock, plus 30 seconds were added each move. So a lot of time for the game. No rushing at all, really. And this game was also pretty big because this was the last round of the tournament. And so if I won, I got a pretty decent a prize, and a money prize at that. So that was a little bit more, make this game important to me. My players that I was against was only rated 1367, and I think I was still hadn't. I don't think I had played enough games in any format to be officially rated in anything. I still hadn't hit 25 yet in any format, so the rating that they had given me as like an unofficial rating was about 1500 at the time. All right, well let's go ahead and get into this game. So e4, I was the white pieces, and my opponent, he played back e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6. So 4 knights game. And I like playing this because it's kind of great for players of all strengths, and there's a lot more tricks in it than some players realize. And some players underestimate because they're like, oh, 4 knights, it's a draw. No point studying that. But there's really some nice stuff in it. So let's take a look. Bishop e5 and bishop c5. So bishop to b4 probably would be a little bit better. Let's take a look here at what I play. I play knight takes e5. And at first glance, it might seem like maybe white's just giving up a piece, because what if black were to take on e5? Maybe you can figure it out. What happens if black takes on e5? White has a trick to get back the piece. And the game, black didn't actually take, but instead he decided to play a different move, which we'll look at in a second. But if he were to go knight takes e5, there's d4, and we have the fork trick to get back a piece. So black decided to go for, instead, this bishop takes f2 check in between move to pick up the pawn before taking on e5. So king takes f2, knight takes e5, d4. So here's a good spot to just take a minute and kind of analyze what's going on in the position. Think about which side would you rather play as. White has lost the ability to castle, and something really throws a lot of people off. And so sometimes when a player playing as the black pieces sees this possibility, they'll take it immediately. But I say, even though my king can't castle, I have those 2 nice center pawns on d4 and e4. And although black can castle, and his king will be safe because of that, my king is going to be actually pretty safe as well, because I control the center pretty well, and so it'll be difficult for him to attack me based on my control of the center. Plus, eventually I can always run my king over to the corner and castle by hand, as they say. So let's take a look. Okay, knight to checking the king here. King g1, c6, and let's go a little bit into it here. So I kick away the knight, and now my king can come to h2. Queen c7. Black is setting up that discover check, but that's not really anything to worry about. And we have bishop f4 anyways, which is just developing on a minor piece and preventing any type of discover check ideas at all. Bishop d7, rook f1, and now we're castling by hand, and the rook is coming to the open f-file. Black castles, and this is a mistake because we have this nice remove the defender trick. Taking on h6, and then g takes, and now the knight on f6 just is undefended. Okay. D5 check, E5, bishop E6. And now that white is up material, it's really just good to just start exchanging off the pieces and making it to an endgame where it'll be easy to win, just exchanging down. So bishop G4 is definitely going to get some piece off in some way. Rook HG8, and rook takes on E6. So I took with the rook because if this pawn takes, we get bishop takes E6, and then we'll get another piece off the board. Okay, in the actual game though, let me flip back here, so it isn't as confusing. Rook takes E6, rook takes G4, queen takes G4, and we'll kind of get the same position anyways, where white is still winning that pawn on E6. King B8, rook to F1, just getting that rook to the open file. And no, I did not forget that this pawn was hanging. I just wanted to get the rook into the game. I'm up enough material. Just in case you were wondering. A6, rook F7. I just want to get that rook to the 7th rank quickly. Start getting it active. And the rooks really are really good on the 7th rank. If there's one thing I've learned from looking at the games with Judith Polgar, it's that the rooks like being on the 7th rank. Queen B6, Queen E7, Rook G8, Rook F8, and now we're getting another piece off. King A7, and then we can use Queen C7 to pin the queen to the king to get the last piece that black has, and completely take it down to just king and pawns. Queen takes, D takes, and now this is why I like to exchange down, because now it's just my knight against the king and pawns, really. King B8. Actually, wait. I clicked the wrong move here. Sorry. King B8 is the move that black should have played to last a little bit longer. The move that black actually played was B6, which falls victim to E6, creating this square. And now the black king cannot stop the pawn, and that's the easiest way to win. King B8, now after E6, he would have been able to make it into the square, and he would have been able to hold out a little bit longer. But after E6, yeah, this is where black decided to resign, because he realized that eventually that pawn's just going to queen in a few moves, no way to stop it. And so the game is more or less over, and so black decided to resign. It's excellent for me. I got a win in the last round, got a nice prize of money for winning this game, which is always nice. And always also, it's nice to end on a win in the tournament. And this was kind of a big game for me. Alright, well, thanks for watching. I hope that you learned something from this. And, subscribe to my channel, watch my videos, send me your games, all that stuff. Alright, thanks, bye.